Ladies and gentlemen, this is the National Intel Report. I'm your host, John Statmiller, with you on this Tuesday, middle of the month, 15 October 2013. Ooh. We have, I was just reading, I didn't hear the interview. It was an interview with a gentleman by the name of Mr. Green, but no budget, no money. Gerald Celente said he's going to take his money out of the bank if they don't get a deal done. Gerald Celente of TrendsJournal, how you doing?
I'm doing good, John.
Well, I don't think a deal is quite imminent, do you?
No, it doesn't look it. The inepts and the incompetents are at it again. Anything they touch, they turn into failure. Whether it's starting wars and losing them and having our soldiers killed in the meantime and robbing us of our money to fight them, whether it's their war on drugs, their education czars and czarettes, homeland security, national security, you name it, everything they create is a disaster for the people, and they've just created one more new disaster as they say that this is politics, this political theater with all of the wrangling back and forth. And, of course, politics is show business for ugly people, so it certainly is just that. And we're all paying the price for it, and the people keep accepting it. And when you look back at history, whether it was Hitler, Mussolini, or whatever we got now, it's the same thing. The people let it happen to them. They bow down, they salute, and they follow their leaders.
Well, we have Christine Lagarde, I'm sorry, let me not butcher her name, Lagarde here, warning the U.S. of a combination of U.S. government shutdown coupled with any default on the country's debt. And she's making some very dire predictions here.
Well, not only is she doing it, the head of Deutsche Bank is doing it. Even Jamie Dimon of J.P. Morgan Chase operation, the gang operation, they're warning about it. China, is calling now for the world to become de-Americanized.
Yes, sir.
They're going to have a tough time. All that crappy Kentucky Fried Chicken they eat over there. What are they going to do without it if they de-Americanize it? What hypocrisy, by the way. China's just buying up a $5 billion deal over here in New York with the Ratner Group on building developing the old Brooklyn Navy Yards. Just even the symbol of it. The Brooklyn Navy Yards now being developed by the Chinese. And let's start another war. I got it. Let's bomb Syria. No, don't worry about it. We'll get somebody else's to invest their money here because we're going to take all the money from the people, so who do we care that comes in here? But yes, they're also saying it in seriousness because, they're trying to push their currency as one of the, as a replacement for the dollar to become part of the new world reserve currency. And this new deal that just is coming down now with the UK, with that other little weasel over there, Osborne, the Chancellor. I love the names all these people give themselves. Senators, congressmen, chancellors, vice presidents, prime ministers. How about a bunch of flunkies and wise guys for the mafia? So anyway, they're doing a deal over there now in the city of London, and it looks like China's moving in closer, and they're going to be establishing more of a global operation, so that the yuan starts eating away at the dollar.
Well, and if you take a look at it, they have a perfect opportunity. They are positioned. For how many years they've been taking massive amounts of profit out of this country. I've warned people, Gerald, this is the new boogeyman. We had Soviet Union. Well, we get into a nice little arms race. Thank you, Ronnie Reagan, for that one. We get into an arms race. Basically, we break their financial back. And communism's dead for them. They have no place to go. They're in debt. So they had to modify their thinking and their politics a little bit. And then I watched what the State Department did in this country, what our cheap politicians, entertainment or whatever you said for ugly people.
Show business for ugly people.
There you go. And in this country, I've always said this, politics is the absence of a constitutional act. We can play political football, we can toss the stuff back and forth, we can create our own emergencies, we can do all of this. And with the help of the controlled and carefully managed press in this country, we can do any damn thing we want. But here's the problem. China is sitting in a position right now. They just did, Gerald, they just did a major swap of currencies with the Europeans. And they are telling the rest of the planet something they already know. The dollar's not worth a damn. What is it worth? 1.5 cents, 2 if we're lucky? And they are taking advantage of a situation that we have created. We have made them extremely rich that they can come over here and do 5, 10, 20, 30, $50 billion deals. That's our money we're playing with. Gerald, we gave it to them.
Not we, they.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
And it started with, of course, neither Reagan nor Bush could push through NAFTA, and that was the beginning of it. And then they had that lovely Democrat there, Slick Willie Clinton, who pushed it through on the people. You remember that debate with Al Gore and Ross Perot.
Sure.
That great sucking sound. It happened, boy. Not only did they suck the jobs out, they sucked the technology out with it. That was part of the deal.
That is right.
And the same thing with Japan. It's U.S. It's all, and you talk about Reagan with the arms race. Yeah, they also started bankrupting our nation too. Let us not forget the crash of 1987. The stock market crash. And you go back, and it's one war after another. Eisenhower warned us.
Yeah.
And look at the Vietnam War. That's why they took us off the gold standard in 1971. The war was draining our economy. And back then they could afford to do it because when if you know your history a little bit and you add up the numbers, the end of World War II wasn't that. They were still rebuilding in Europe and a lot of the rest of the world. They hadn't been near where they are now, so the United States could get away with it back then. But now, that we just keep bankrupting ourselves, and as you mentioned, we've exported our jobs, we've exported our technology, and 95% of the jobs created in 2013 have been temporary jobs. Whoopee.
And no real advances in wages. We have not kept up with that for many, many years. We've hollowed out the manufacturing base in this country. We're a service-oriented country now. How much service and what does that really produce? That is the doppelganger on the producers. When the producers quit producing, there's nothing there to service.
That's right.
All right, let's take the break here. Gerald Celente is my guest. TrendsJournal.com. We'll be back. Gosh, I almost played Gerald Loeffler there for a second. We'll be back.
World-renowned physician and stem cell expert Dr. David Steenblock, D.O., and his research staff have spent years developing all-natural formulations that support the body's own stem cell production and mobilization system. An everyday stem cell supplement, creating the birth of StemGevity. StemGevity stem cell mobilization formula is for use by men, women, and children of all ages to support your body's stem cell system naturally, quickly, and safely. StemGevity helps support your heart and circulatory system, bones and joints, liver, skin, brain, and much more. Order your bottle now at StemGevity.com today. That's StemGevity, StemGevity.com. Or call now toll-free, 800-300-1063. Buy 2 bottles and receive a 3rd bottle free by mentioning RBN. Anyone who wants to get healthy needs StemGevity. Call 800-300-1063 today.
Knob Creek Gun Range invites you to come out and support the Second Amendment, the right to keep and bear arms, the country's biggest machine gun and military gun show. The 3-day event is October 12th, 13th, and 14th at Knob Creek, Kentucky, where the public can participate in the high-power action. Thousands attend this semi-annual event. This is a must-see for all gun enthusiasts and collectors. There will be hundreds of vendors for every type of firearm and accessory available in the marketplace today. Go to www.machinegunshoot.com for all the scheduled events and directions to Knob Creek, Kentucky. On-site camping facilities available, or go to www.machinegunshoot.com for hotel and motel accommodations. Only $10 admission fee per day, $5 for 12 and under. Knob Creek Gun Range is also open year-round for your shooting enjoyment. Call 502-922-4457 for more information, or visit www.machinegunshoot.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Everyone around me seems to get sick but me. My brother got the flu twice, my mother was down with some sort of fever, people at work were taking sick days off, and others were just plain tired and run down. And me? Well, I just keep feeling great all the time with Extendovite. My grandfather used to talk about the power of garlic and other herbs he took that kept him healthy. I'm lucky. Extendovite was just what I needed to keep me healthy, and Extendovite is all natural. Extendovite was designed for the heart but does so much more by keeping me healthy all the time. I'll take Extendovite forever. Get your 2-month supply for only $69.95 plus shipping and handling. My name is Rick, and you can be like me just by calling 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Get ready for Real Talk Radio. You're listening to the National Intel Report with your host, John Stachmiller.
And I want to say this to the television audience. I made my mistakes. But in all of my years of public life, I have never profited from public service. I've earned every cent. And in all of my years of public life, I have never obstructed justice. And I think, too, that I can say that in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not their president is a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
I am not a crook. But I sold the country off by getting them off the gold standard.
Lips, no new taxes. I didn't have sex with that woman, Monica Lewinsky. I smoked, but I didn't inhale.
Yeah.
Saddam Hussein, he has weapons of mass destruction and ties to Al-Qaeda. Mm-hmm. Listen, as soon as I get elected, Guantanamo is going to close. Mm-hmm. Yeah, transparency like you've never seen before. And I'm going to get rid of all them people they have over there in Washington now, and I'm bringing in a clean slate. That's right. Vote for me. I'll bring in Bob Gates, the Bush's defense secretary. Oh, he wasn't good enough? Let me bring in that guy Jones. Yeah, along came Jones, the national security advisor from Bush. Let me bring in the whole Clinton team, even his chief of staff. I'm going to show you what new looks like, and I'll lie and backtrack on everything I said, because I'm one of the sociopaths in chief. Hail to the chief. It's one after another. And the people don't want to grow up and know that it's their commander-in-chief that's selling them out. One after another. Obama, Bush, Clinton. You go down the line. Back to Jimmy Carter, that nice peanut farmer. Oh, yeah, you remember the guy. Oh, he's the guy that began to fund what we now call Al-Qaeda. They had a different name back then. We'll call them Mujahideen and Freedom Fighters. And Reagan picked up with it to beat the Russians over there in Afghanistan. I mean, we got one nut after another destroying this country.
Well, people didn't notice, Gerald, but both Korean conflict and the Vietnam conflict, when was the last time you heard it called a conflict? These were both UN operations. This was the precursor to what we were going to see for NATO in the Middle East, but it really isn't NATO. NATO is the front dummy for the United Nations, the UN peacekeepers. So any time that we have dealt with the UN, there's no resolutions. What was it that Kennedy said about Vietnam. He said, why would I want to travel thousands of miles to go kill communists when we got them 90 miles south of the United States?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, how about what Muhammad Ali said? Why do I want to kill them? You know, they didn't do anything to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. People look. The very nature of these people to run for that kind of office. But again, that's another one Eisenhower said. I don't know his exact words, but it was something to the effect that anyone seeks the office shouldn't have it because they're crazy. You know, you should be selected for it and sought for it, not campaign for it. And look at that guy Romney. I mean, he wasted what? How much of his life for what? You know, for what? To run? And, you know, it had to be one of the most inept campaigns I've ever seen. And by the way, I began my career, I used to run political campaigns in Westchester County, which at that time was the richest county in the United States. And I designed and taught American politics and campaign technology at St. John's University. I know a thing or two about running campaigns. I mean, this is kiddie stuff, the way these campaigns are run. You know, again, you know, it's like high school. It's like voting for your high school president or the guy that wants to be head of the student council in college. You know, it's no different.
The issue here, by the way, Gerald, I don't know if you're aware of what Chase just did. I do a program. Have you ever read the book by my Monday's guest? He's been a guest on my program now for 2.5 years. Ron McDonald. They own it all, including you, by way of Toxic Currency.
No.
Have to send you a copy of that book. I'm waiting for some copies right now.
Sounds accurate, boy.
Well, and it is, and it's a fresh approach to look at how the dollar affects what we do. And this is, you know, it's arguably a government corporation, a private corporation, doesn't matter. It's still the funny money people. This has brought ruin to this country, dealing with these characters. And I'm looking at something now. We saw what happened with Cyprus. It's where a lot of money was parked offshore. A lot of businesses used accounts. Well, we started hearing the little stories about little trims, little tiny haircuts. And, well, then they did the full-on Monty with them. They said, look, we're going to do a bail-in. You guys are going to lose a lot of your money in your accounts. I get this letter, Gerald, from Chase day before yesterday. Dated October 10. Your account listed above starting November 17th. You'll no longer be able to send international wire transfers. You'll still be able to send domestic wires and receive both domestic and international wires. I can take money from abroad coming in by way of international wire, but I can't send anything out to any country, any bank in the entire planet outside of the United States. And your cash activity limited for these accounts will be $50,000 per statement cycle. That means per month. Per account, cash activity is the combined total of cash deposits made at branches, night drops, ATMs, cash withdrawals, including purchases or money orders, anything else. In other words, they're limiting $50,000 activity in any one of your accounts.
Wait, let me get this straight. They're saying that you could only withdraw $50,000?
Yes, sir.
Would it be possible, you know, without your name on it, to send me a copy of that?
Well, I trust you. I'll just send the thing over. It doesn't have my full account on it. This is signed by Donna Vieira, Senior Vice President at Chase Business Banking.
Yeah, I guess I got the name Chase. You got to chase them for your money.
Yeah, well, and they're saying here...
That's unbelievable. I have to report on this.
Well, and you do. I mean, this is what I saw in Cyprus. How did they prevent people, because this is what was happening, people started getting a little nervous, and they started sending money to where? European banks. Well, they put the kibosh on that, didn't they? Turned around and said, look, we're going to do a bail-in. Canada, Australia, other countries around the world, the very next day, said, you know, we might have to do something similar. Maybe not, we hope not, but just in case, everything is on the table. I'm telling you, this government shutdown thing, well, the way I'm reading this, Mr. Celente, is simply this. Yeah, was Obama right? Yeah, in kind of a convoluted Keynesian sort of way. He says, look, we're not going to raise the debt limit. This is not about spending more money. This is about paying the bills that we've already racked up. And essentially, he's correct, except for one thing. There was about a difference of about $800 billion going upwards to $1 trillion that they had to roll over because there's a lot of stuff coming due on what? Treasury bonds, Mr. Celente, Treasury bonds. And they're trying to build an extra $800 billion in there. We got Lagarde and everybody else around the planet going, you know what? You better go further in debt. You better do what you have to do, otherwise we're going to blame you. Wait a minute. Gerald Celente is not to blame. John Statler is not to blame. I'm looking at the New York bankers. I'm looking at the politicians that set this scenario up to do the biggest robbery in human history, and we all witnessed it. Gerald, I'm afraid we got some bad things coming in November. Hold on a second. We'll be right back. During the break, let me get your fax number.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come for you to take action and begin broadcasting the truth to hundreds or thousands of people every month. Sound impossible? Quite the contrary. With pointed slogans from LibertyStickers.com, you can reach countless sleeping Americans unaware that they live in a real-life wonderland. LibertyStickers.com has a huge inventory of political bumper stickers and messages that reflect the truth about our government, our politicians, and the future of America. With so many in stock, there's one perfect for you. Visit us today at LibertyStickers.com. Again, that's LibertyStickers.com. Do your part. Your voice is important. Let it be heard.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
John Statler here. Sometimes in life you get lucky. Well, today is your lucky day. Our sponsor, AmericanSurvivalWholesale.com, have just announced their biggest savings yet on their 1-month food supply by Linden Farms. This great 1-month pack includes over 360 servings based on 2,000 calories per day. While supplies last, you'll get 1 free month of long-term emergency food entrees when you buy 3. This is a massive savings of $600 on a 4-month supply. Again, AmericanSurvivalWholesale.com is giving you buy 3 months, get an additional 1 month of food free. This is a great deal. Act fast. The site, again, is AmericanSurvivalWholesale.com, or call them directly at 818-720-0759, 818-720-0759. Let them know John sent you. Do it today. AmericanSurvivalWholesale.com, veteran-owned and operated.
World-renowned physician and stem cell expert Dr. David Steenblock, D.O., and his research staff have spent years developing all-natural formulations that support the body's own stem cell production and mobilization system. An everyday stem cell supplement, creating the birth of StemGevity. StemGevity stem cell mobilization formula is for use by men, women, and children of all ages to support your body's stem cell system naturally, quickly, and safely. StemGevity helps support your heart and circulatory system, bones and joints, liver, skin, brain, and much more. Order your bottle now at StemGevity.com today. That's StemGevity, StemGevity.com. Or call now toll-free, 800-300-1063. Buy 2 bottles and receive a 3rd bottle free by mentioning RBN. Anyone who wants to get healthy needs StemGevity. Call 800-300-1063 today.
Herbal Healer Spring Sale. 500 parts per million colloidal silver, all sizes. COQ10 with hawthorn, glucosamine chondroitin, sea cucumber, colloidal minerals, superfam and super male plaques, colon enhancer, Our top-selling liquid, Cal Mag Vitamin D, MSM Sulfur Capsules, and Elderberry Power Capsules. We also offer certificate correspondence courses in natural medicine. Free memberships and free online newsletters also available at herbalhealer.com. Herbal Healer has been serving the natural medicine industry for 25 years. This is a company you can count on. Visit herbalhealer.com today. herbalhealer.com. That's herbalhealer.com.
We are back. Gerald, I sent that over to you. Did you receive that?
I don't think it's come in yet.
Well, if it doesn't...
It did, actually. It just came in.
Okay.
Okay, just bring it over to me.
Yeah, I'm looking at this as being a big deal because for no reason, out of the blue, I'm being told that I can't send any money out of the country. Out of any accounts that I have at this damn bank.
This is amazing. Cash activities, the combined total of cash deposits made at branches, night drops, ATMs, and cash. Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. They're getting ready for something, and this is what I'm saying.
But this is for your benefit, John, because you missed this line. These charges will help you more effectively manage the risks involved with these types of transactions.
Well, wait a minute. I'm willing to take...
They're looking out for you.
Well, of course they are. We're from the government, or we're from the banks, and we're here to help you. Of course they are. You know, when I saw this, the flag started going off because I knew what China was talking about. They've got, $1.5 trillion, $2 trillion in treasuries sitting over there. And they're going, well, wait a minute here. You people going to default? You know, what happened last month when Ben Bernanke hinted at, we're going to rein in a little bit on the quantitative easing. The market took a dump. We know what's propping that market up. $85 billion a month. They're committed to it. They can't stop it. If they do stop it, the market crashes. If they keep doing it, everybody's going to be walking away from the United States dollar going, yes, we finally figured it out. The Americans really are crazy. They are swimming in debt, and just like what other countries did we see do this, Gerald? We saw Greece. What did they do? Oh, well, we're not going to make cuts. We got socialized programs, and we're not going to make people unhappy. Well, that was the form of government that they built, and you know, when things are humming along just great, I guess it's okay if you have a certain brand of socialism. Feels good for a while, but somebody somewhere is paying and not getting their share. Okay? And this is all about equity, isn't it? This is all about everybody being equal, but nobody wants to work hard. You and I work hard, but they want to take our money and give it to somebody else. They want to give it to illegals. They want to give it to everybody. That the poverty that they have created, Gerald, in this country, they want you and I to pay for. The rip-offs that we experienced back in 2008, they want us to pay for. And
we have paid for it.
Well, no, not yet.
Oh, we're paying for it now.
Oh.
And like you said, I mean, they've created the poverty. You know, they have, of all of the far from a left-wing organization, CNBC. You know, you go to their site, to one of the stories today. How about all the fast food workers that are living in poverty? Mm. And what we're doing is we're subsidizing those people from the multinational. You know, by the way, the new TrendsJournal. We're working on it now. And one of the stories I'm doing, John, that this is not globalization. It's multinationalization. The multinationals have taken over. Yeah, there's a load of poor people in this country. You look at the kids getting out of college. 50% of them can't find jobs, and the ones that they do find, half of those are paying wages that are high school level. They're driving us into poverty because everything's... Pick up today's... it's either the Wall Street Journal... I think it was the Financial Times or New York Times. One of the stories about how all the hedge funds are seeking... the buyout firms are on the fast track now for more buyout. Who are they buying out? More consolidation.
That's right.
You know, we're old enough to remember when there were these quaint little things called stationery stores before Staples and Office Depot took it over.
Sure.
There were hardware stores before Home Depot and Lowe's took all the action. There were haberdashers and women's dress shops.
We used to have Kresge's. We used to have Woolworths with lunch counters. We used to have, Gerald, a lot in this country.
I know, and it's a takeover is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the poverty level's been created by the top level.
Mm-hmm.
And they've driven it, and so, yeah, you lose your desire. You know, what are you going to do? I would dread being a young person now and getting into the system. How the heck am I going to find a job? What multinational could I work for?
Yeah.
How could I start up my own business when the barriers are set so high and the regulations so stiff that whether you're a family farmer or opening up a little restaurant, you have such a difficult time with all of the regulations in place that are put in place not to protect we the people, but to protect the too bigs, that they get bigger and don't have any competition. And what I do is I tell everyone, what can I do? What could I do? Break the chains. I try to avoid the chains at all costs. Unfortunately, I have to go there at some times, but you'll never find me eating at one. You'll never find me doing my grocery shopping at one. You know, I buy stuff that I have to buy in the chains, but other than that, I try to support local. And what people don't realize, if we all boycotted the chains, they collapse because they're so huge, they're so top-heavy, that once their profit margin starts to decline, they collapse.
Well, the problem is in this country, Gerald, that, look, 98%, almost 99% of the people do not own any physical gold and silver. And we know that to be a hedge against inflation. They've been suppressing this stuff. China's been buying it hand over fist by the ton. They've been doing this for quite some time. Then turn around and tell the planet, well, you got to de-Americanize. You know, the damn dollar ain't worth anything. It was the strength after World War II because if you wanted to buy any oil from any place on the planet, well, you had to convert it to U.S. dollars, and, well, that helped the countries that we were helping to blow up, I guess. I don't know. But that thing fell apart. Our upstart Middle Eastern pals over there go, and these are the ones that don't believe in usury. Say what you will about the Muslim people, they do not believe in usury. So, we're looking at a situation right now, Gerald, that, they wanted McDonald's and right down the street, XXX movie theaters. They wanted to Americanize the Middle East, and the Middle East is going, you know what? We don't need you. Look at your decadent lifestyle. And then we sit here in the press and we try to build up what is wrong with the Muslims. What is wrong with the United States and the Muslim world? Well, what's wrong is we're involved in the Muslim world. Why the hell are we there?
I'm with you.
You know?
And by the way, this is something that people should understand. I have a couple of guys that are working for me, doing work, and one of them's from Tunisia. And he just got back after a month. And in his broken English, he came back. He was so sad. You know, Tunisia, one time, you know, this used to be, you know, the vacation spot for the French and a lot of the rich Europeans. It was a beautiful place to go. And, you know, a lot of civilization, you know, from Tunisia. And he is so despondent. He said, you know, in his broken English, he said, he's doing masonry work for us because as a young boy, at 14 years old, he went to Corsica. And Corsica, of course, is all stone and Italian and French. And he learned masonry from the best masons in the world. So anyway, we're restoring this old 1774 building. And anyway, he was so heartbroken. He said, these are mafias. These aren't radical Muslims.
That's right.
That's a lot of baloney. That's to get us to hate them.
That's right.
And this guy's a devout Muslim. He said, they're mafia. And he's a man. You know, this guy's no boy. You know, he said, they're mafia. They're mafia every day, every week. New mafia, new mafia. He's telling us how they come in. They go to Libya. They have these boats, these small ships. They give them money, get oil. They go into all these port cities. They come in, several hundred of them, ransack cities. You know, and if anybody speaks out against anything, he said he's going through in his broken English. You know, they give you some money, they give you some, bam, 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 you're dead. Everybody's afraid to speak out. Throughout Libya, throughout Iraq, throughout Syria, throughout Tunisia, throughout a lot of these countries, because of the destabilization caused in large part by the United States and the other colonial powers, like the French and the English, who can't get over their colonial trip, they have turned these places into hellholes. People have nothing there. Just like if you can imagine what's going to happen in the United States. We talked about all the poor people, all the people that have no future ahead of them. They come from lives with no past. What are their mothers whacked out on meth and they don't know who their father is? Oh, yeah, they're going to be raised healthy. I'll tell you what we'll do. Put them on some psychotropic drugs. That'll straighten them right out. So when they go out of their mind and a bunch of them get into more gangs, that's what you're seeing going on over there. But onto a higher level. Mm-hmm. This is not Muslim fundamentalism. It's a bunch of murderers using this as a excuse to rape, pillage, and plunder.
We'll take the 3-minute break. Gerald, take a reread of that letter again, because I think there's something here. When you restrict, you can do anything that you want inside the country to send it to whatever bank that they can go in and zap, but you can't send it out. Same damn thing they did to Cyprus. Take 3-minute break. We'll be right back. Gerald Celente, TrendsJournal.com.
This is Dr. Robert Rowan, here to give you an important message regarding stem cell treatment. World-renowned physician, stem cell expert, and friend Dr. David Steenblock has performed over 8,000 stem cell treatments since 2001. Bone marrow stem cells are completely legal to do here in the USA. The bone marrow stem cell treatment is not only fast, done in less than 2 to 3 hours, but is relatively pain-free and has little to no recovery time. Dr. David Steenblock and his office are able to help and treat patients who suffer from cerebral palsy, traumatic brain injury, stroke, macular degeneration, arthritis, Parkinson's disease, congestive heart failure, and more. Personally using their services for my knee and seeing great improvement, Dr. David Steenblock is highly recommended by me. Go to stemcellmd.org or call 800-300-1063 to find out more. Again, stemcellmd.org or call 800-300-1063 today to receive more information.
That moment of panic, sheer terror, really. You're afraid to answer the phone, frightened by who might be at the door. If you're facing foreclosure or being harassed by debt collectors, you know the feeling. You need to visit whatliesInYourDebt.com to turn the tables on the banksters, collection agencies, and other crooks. WhatLiesInYourDebt.com has solutions. WhatLiesInYourDebt.com features live training webinars from experts, a member forum, support from experts who've been where you are right now and came out the other side in a better financial situation. If you are like millions of Americans who are behind on their mortgage, behind on their credit cards, or just being harassed by debt collectors, then this system is for you. We promise. If you cannot stop your foreclosure, even if it's imminent, if you cannot stop those debt collectors from bugging you, if you cannot clean up your credit, and finally, if you cannot make a few $1,000s during the entire process, make money from the debt collectors, yes, at WhatLiesInYourDebt.com, we will refund your money 100% in the first 60 days. Don't fear the bill collectors anymore. Visit WhatLiesInYourDebt.com.
Do you flinch when a police car appears in your rearview mirror, or you get pulled over? Are you squeamish when an envelope arrives in the mail with the return address of a court, a government agency like the IRS, or some law firm? Would you like to escape government agency harassment? Then visit escapeharassment.com. George Bush allegedly says, the government constitution is nothing but a doggone piece of paper. Well, that's a contract. A contract is an offer acceptance of that offer, at which point a contract arrives by law and the offerer can no longer withdraw the offer. We teach, do not accept. That way there is no contract or agreement for you to go to their court or private club meeting. To escape government agency harassment like the IRS, visit escapeharassment.com. This is a tried and proven experienced process, not experimental, with a money-back guarantee that it works and success testimonials from previous students. Remember, escapeharassment.com. That's escapeharassment.com.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, Independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come for you to take action and begin broadcasting the truth to hundreds or thousands of people every month. Sound impossible? Quite the contrary. With pointed slogans from LibertyStickers.com, you can reach countless sleeping Americans unaware that they live in a real-life wonderland. LibertyStickers.com has a huge inventory of political bumper stickers and messages that reflect the truth about our government, our politicians, and the future of America. With so many in stock, there's one perfect for you. Visit us today at LibertyStickers.com. Again, that's LibertyStickers.com. Do your part. Your voice is important. Let it be heard.
Roy Green, when did you do that, Roy? I don't know who Roy Green is, Gerald.
He has a quite sizable show in Canada.
Okay.
That was Sunday.
All right, you did that Sunday, and you made the statement, I'm taking my money out of the U.S. banks if the agreement not met by Tuesday. Today's Tuesday.
Yep, we started.
Okay.
Yep, and it's coming out.
Well,
I'm going to leave some in, I run a business.
Well, sure. I mean, you got to clear checks.
Yep, and, but no, it's it. And, you just keep looking at the headlines. Every other day, we're coming to an agreement, and the market goes up. Well, there's no agreement. The market goes down. Oh, we're coming near agreement. The market goes down.
Well,
and I don't see, I thought they would have pulled this off by now. And, I just don't see it happening.
I don't either, but and again, Gerald, lies, damn lies, and then you got the government lies. Well, what about the media lies? How about, Christine Lagarde said that, the housing market in the United States, it's starting to turn upwards and their economy is improving.
I know, I read her thing.
I'm like...
it was comical, I know.
It is.
I know, I read it. Matter of fact, it's part of the subscription to the TrendsJournal. Every Monday through Friday, we do a news show, TrendsJournal TV. I do Trends in the News. And boy, did I take off on her. I read the whole statement, and it was just so juvenile about the wonderful recovery we have over here. How about because of the record low interest rates? Could you speak about that? Because once these interest rates go up, this economy goes down. It's as simple as that. You turn on the TV, look at these ads for these, I just watched a Buick ad. They're giving you 0% interest for 60 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you don't have to prove if you're alive either,
Well, yeah. Well, if you look at that, this is the only way that the Mazda has been doing this for like a year and a half. They're modifying it somewhat. It's now like 0.9% on an average car. It'll run you about $600 to $900 in interest for that car. But I called it the great time to buy a car. Because if you look at it, it's a layaway plan, only with one modification. With a layaway plan, you've got to make that last installment before you take out a layaway, which you put in there in the first place. This is you get to drive, you pay as you drive. It's kind of a modification on a lease car, whatever, but you get to keep it at the end of this thing. In other words, it's not costing you any money to buy a new car.
John, I bought, as you know, I'm buying these historic buildings in Colonial Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought one in March, 15-year locked in at 2.875%.
That'll cover the service the paperwork.
But that's nothing.
That is absolutely nothing.
It is unheard of.
Yeah. And here's the problem. You know damn right well, Gerald, with what they're doing, yes, it's going to fuel hyperinflation, the likes that this country has never seen before. And I've tried to explain to people. I said, look, you don't have a full grasp on what these people are doing. You don't get it. Well, I know we're $17 trillion in debt. No, that's just the bailout. Consider that to be the international TARP bailout for the banks and corporations, not only here but across the oceans. And none of these things are on solid ground. There is going to have to be more austerity. There's going to have to be more easing. There's going to be they have to do this.
They are. They're going to do it. Look here. Look what they're doing in virtually every community, including mine. And not only here, but around the world. Everyone knows that real wages, for example, in the United States, median household income is below 1999 levels. Everybody knows that these kids getting out of college got crap jobs, if they have any job at all. Everyone knows this. What do? I got an idea. Let's raise the property taxes. Let's raise school taxes. No, the people can't afford it, but that's okay. We're going to raise the taxes anyway. How could they get away with this?
Well, but you know what? Here's the irony, Gerald. This is the only way that it should have been done. And I'm not advocating for it. I am just saying what had to be done. And, gosh, Nancy Pelosi, old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard and said, you know what, there's nothing else we can cut. What had to be done is massive government cut in spending and, sorry to say, because of the circumstance, to raise revenue, to raise taxes. But raising taxes on people that are already paying 65%.
John, I never had children.
Me neither.
And I've been paying school taxes all my life.
Yeah, I know.
Here's my deal. You want to have kids, you pay more than me. How about that?
That would sound fair and equitable.
Sounds fair to me. You want to have 10, have 100.
Yeah.
Have all you want, you pay more than me. And don't give me the line, well, you're paying for the future. These are the doctors and the lawyers. Yeah, don't give me that baloney.
Yeah.
I'll pay through my nose the rest of my life. If you want to have kids, you pay more than me. And that's the way it should be.
But it's...
And now I'm at the age, I'm going to turn 67 years old. And I'm still paying taxes, school taxes like this? And when the hell is enough?
Well, it's never going to be enough because, we're dealing with one of the planks of the Communist Manifesto. One of the 10 planks of the public school systems. Free schooling for people. Well, it's not free. You got to pay for it. You've been paying for it. But what is it being used for? According to their good buds and commie pals, it's a place for transmission belt for government propaganda. And what is our school system turned into? Exactly that. They're training these kids in these schools, lockdowns, cops all over the place.
Oh, I know.
And here's the deal. Where is it? Read me the Constitution. Read me the authority to have government-funded school system.
And then these kids, they throw the kid has to going bang, bang, bang with his fingers.
Yeah.
And one after another. No, you're 100% right. It's an indoctrination system. And just for the record, as a matter of fact, I wrote about it in the last TrendsJournal. I ran away from kindergarten at 4.5 years old and crossed the Boston Post Road, which was the main artery between New York and Boston at the time.
Mama must have looked at you and figured she had something a little bit different.
Do you realize that if I was a kid now, they would have had me whacked out on Ritalin and everything else?
Oh, my God.
I would have been, and for kissing the girls. I used to kiss Teresa McKelvey during religious instructions in the basement of Christ the King Church. In the Catholic Church, they say you reach the age of reason at 7 years old.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I wanted to kiss Teresa, They would have me locked up now. I'm not kidding.
No, they would.
I have a picture
honestly
in one of my books what Zizzy gave Honey Boy. And I have a picture of us in our first communion. We're all in the white little uniforms there, holding hands. We were nuts about it. As little kids, now they would call me a sex pervert.
Well, there's something wrong with you. You were playing with guns and you were trying to kiss girls.
Yeah, I know.
Obviously, there's something wrong with you.
I should become a Republican or a Democrat. I should go to reform school. That's your reform school. They send you to political schools to be indoctrinated. I should have gone to St. Paul's like Kerry. I could have been just like him, a psychopath lunatic.
That's right. But you had a heart and you had a conscience, and besides that, you have that good Italian blood coursing in your veins. Hey, look, we're running out of time here. Let me take a call real quick. Curtis out of Florida. You got to make this one real short. Hello, Curtis.
Hey, sir. Thank you for taking my call. I'm not sure I can actually make it short, but
yeah, you have to.
Okay, well, people are speaking to symptoms. Most people speak to symptoms, not causes. The real causes of most of the problems in the world are our capitalist system.
where we're deprived our inheritance from God. We start out with someone knocking our teeth out economically, then we pay 30 years to buy your teeth back, and then you can knock other people's out, and that's the rest of the story. And now I knocked out 40 people's teeth, and I can sell them back to them. Oh, that's Paul Harvey. That's the rest of the story. This is a garbage system.
Well,
equal share of land at age 18. Everything else is a fraud.
Understood.
I would disagree because this isn't capitalism.
No, it's not.
It's fascism.
Thank
It's
you.
the merger of state and corporate powers. Obamacare is fascism. We are being forced to buy insurance from private corporations. We are being forced. If we don't, we get fined. It's fascism when you bail out too big to fail. There's no such thing as bailing out anybody in capitalism. So I don't see it as capitalism being the problem. I see it as fascism.
And by the way, the name that was given capitalism, that was the communists that named it. And what else are you going to call it using the funny money system? If it were an honest system, it would have been free market, not a capitalist system. Gerald Celente, thank you, my friend. I will see you next month, and one of these days you and I are going to do a show from one of those nice buildings up there.
Oh, I love that. That'd be fun.
Before the damn thing collapses here. Thank you, Gerald.
Okay, bye-bye now.
Okay. All right. Hang on, folks. Hour 2 of the National Intel Report coming up. Something's in the air, man. I can smell it. Can't you? I can feel it coming in the air tonight.